Join me as I embark on an unforgettable journey to Croatia, made possible by international artistic collaboration. From its stunning coastlines to its charming inland treasures, surprises await at every turn. But first, a quick stop at Toronto YYZ. A little skim through Google Earth, past the Great Lakes. Here at the Toronto Pearson Airport, there are these seats where you can sit down, order food from the touchscreen. Very convenient, nice place to sit, but the food quality is meh. And even charge your devices. After a quick layover, we flew across the North Atlantic with another fellow artist and landed in Vienna, Austria. I don't know if it was just me, but it seemed like all the washrooms were underground. A large bus transported us to the tarmac, where we boarded Austrian Air for a quick 30-minute flight to the city of Zadar, Croatia. By this point, I was very tired and jet-lagged from all the travel. Zadar, here you can see, is on the rocky coast on the east side of the Adriatic Sea next to Italy. Here in Croatia, there's only 2 baggage carousels for pickup, and that's the size of the airport. Upon leaving the airport, I quickly found out that tunnels are a thing in Croatia. There's a lot of them, and some of them are some of the longest in the world. One noticeable difference is that most cars here have standard or manual transmission. Unlike the automatic cars that are more common in North America, driving in Europe often means getting used to shifting gears manually. We landed in Zadar and we drove to Starigrad. We checked in to our place where we're staying, and across the street there's a place where you can swim. These beaches are pretty pebbly, so you might want to wear some slippers or shoes. So here we're in Starigrad. The water is not as cold as the Pacific Ocean. You can do a little bit of swimming. Nice and refreshing after traveling on the road for almost 24 hours. Yeah, it's pretty salty. Anyways, this is the place that I'm staying. To the back of me, there's big mountains. Good morning. We had our first night here at this beautiful house. It's a little villa. There are several different rooms with beds, both king size, single. Also, this room here, there's a fridge and a little kitchenette. In just a few moments, we're gonna go meet up downstairs, have a little bit of a tour. Let's see what's gonna happen for the rest of the day.
So this is part of Velebit, and Velebit is of course the biggest nature park in Croatia, more than 2,000 square kilometers. This is of course the climbing zone.
Oh, it's such a beautiful pathway. I've never seen anything quite like it.
So the Wizard of Oz. Yellow brick road.
Underground secrets of Paklenica. This used to be the interpreter center. But before that, it used to be a bunker. All these old buildings. Next morning, forecasting wind gusts up to 87 kilometers per hour. This time, instead of hiking up the trail to the climbing site, we drove up this narrow road, which is where many of the climbers drive up to. However, at the top, parking spaces are very limited. The riggers found a spot. They're hanging up the ropes on this huge cliff face. We call it Bora. Safety is always our #1 priority, and because of the wind, we weren't able to go climbing. So instead, we went to gather some native plants that we will be using for our costumes. It is so windy today. Look, there's lime. Here at Bistro Antonio, they have a live fire grill where they can cook some pizza or grill some meat. And this was my first time experiencing canned tuna on pizza. And this was our cyanotype costume making process. So we finished doing the costumes. That one's got a slide. They all have slides. These paddle boats look fun to rent. By the waterfront here.
This is already
that Greek
pre-dipped.
salad looks pretty good too.
Really good salad.
Black risotto.
This looks really nice. Thank you.
That's so bad. Look at that.
It's a good burger.
Just finished my meal at restaurant Tocha and had the black risotto with cuttlefish and their house salad. And I think the presentation was really great. So behind me here we can see the sunset. Just finished dinner, coming to the end of our second day here in Croatia. You can see the sunset in the background. It's been a really windy day and we couldn't even go climbing or do any dancing today. But hopefully the weather will be better tomorrow. On the third day, the sky finally cleared up. It was still a bit breezy, but it was more of a warm breeze, a little gentler. Since the weather was better, a lot of recreational climbers were also out enjoying the majestic canyon of Paklenica. In all honesty, I'm actually not a rock climber, so before this trip I had to buy my first pair of rock climbing shoes. This was only my second time ever climbing on an outdoor wall. If you've never done lead climbing before, it might be a good idea to go with someone that's a little bit more experienced than you, or maybe even go with a guide. After cramming 2 days of rehearsals into one day, we were all very hungry, so we opted to go to the restaurant that was closest to us. Taverna Konoba Marezovac. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. It's this cute little restaurant with a patio out in the courtyard. We watched the moonrise and the sunset. Today is my last day in Starigrad, Croatia. And this is our villa in the back here. Oh, it's such a beautiful morning. It was very windy for the past 3 or 4 days. The wind has finally subsided. It's not quite as windy. It's perfect for going for a morning swim. So the thing about Croatia is that the beaches are very pebbly. So to make your feet a little bit more comfortable, you can wear some water shoes or slippers so your feet don't hurt so much. This is Starigrad, Croatia. It's my final day at this destination before we head out for another town. And it's just absolutely gorgeous here. Whew, incredible. And the water, it's not quite as cold as Vancouver. It's still a bit cold. If you find yourself in Paklenica and are curious about how ancient people cared for their dead, be sure to check out the Mirala on the hillside. Legend has it that they would carry the bodies down the steep mountain to their final resting place, ensuring they face the Adriatic Sea. These graves are unique in that they feature both a headstone and a footstone, allowing anthropologists to determine the length of the bodies. They believed that the spirit and the body were separate, so they were placed here only for their spirit to return back to the sea. However, their bodies were placed somewhere else later. Even as I stand here gazing upon the Adriatic Sea, my spirit feels lifted and free. But since life is a cycle, there's always new life popping in somewhere, and now it's time for us to hit the road. We drove for 2 to 3 hours along the twisted seaside road, one of the most popular routes for motorcyclists. Since visibility around the bends can be limited, it's also one of the most dangerous roads for them, as they whiz past cars at excessive speeds. Even for us, driving from Starigrad to Karlobag, we witnessed some close calls. While I know Game of Thrones was filmed in Croatia, the way these motorcyclists drove felt more like watching a James Bond movie from my own car. This little stone house that we checked into has very thick walls and was built possibly hundreds of years ago. If you're ever staying in Karlobag, I highly recommend this place, as we were greeted very warmly with afternoon coffee and homemade rakia.
Now I'll flip the light on.
Little double bed and like a little futon. We just drove from Starigrad to Karlobag, and this little town has lots of little side streets. It's not great for cars, but for walking, it's really interesting. They're all curvy and windy, lots of hills as well, but all these little houses have so much character. I'm gonna head back. We have a little bit of a break. I'm gonna grab my swim shorts and maybe jump back into the Adriatic Sea just for a little bit of refreshment. So this is Tatinia Beach, and then there's stairs that go down here to the beach. It's the end of September. Not too many people here. Just like all the beaches here in Croatia, they're all really rocky, so it's great to have a good pair of sandals or slippers or water socks that you can go into the water so you don't cut your foot like I did. Yes, 2 days ago I went in the water trying to go barefoot, and the rocks are really sharp here. You can see the limestone, it's really jaggedy, and so all the rocks, they can cut your foot quite easily. Well, it's time to head back now for some dinner. Hope you enjoyed the sunset here at Karlobag. Today is my second day here in Karlobag. Just finished breakfast and I'm heading my way over to the garden where we're going to be doing a dance rehearsal for a show later today. And in the afternoon we're going to be doing a cyanotype with Sarah Fuller, and we're going to see if we can put our whole body on a sheet and then expose it under the sun. And as part of an art exhibition, the Biennale of New Movement, this is our second stop of 3. We came from Paklenica 2 days ago. Just yesterday we came from there. Well, you can see these city streets. They're very tight, not easy for, cars to come through here, but it's made for pedestrians, I would say. I think I'm going down the right street. There's 2 sides of the old fortress. This side is owned by the other brother who wants to monetize and make this a tourism site. You can see this is the property of the old fort, and this road here is called Fortica. And there's part of the wall from the old fortress. Used to be all bushes and bramble like this inside the fort. And the artist, he cleaned it all up, and you'll see behind this wall is a garden that him and his wife have cultivated, and this is where we're gonna dance tonight. Down there is the Adriatic Sea. Cute little door here. As you stroll along the garden, you will see beautiful mosaics created by the artist using Venetian glass from shipwrecks. Art installations intertwined with Mediterranean botanicals. On top of the shed roof, here you can see the mountains in the background, including the ancient pillars.
Okay, good to know.
Now Marina can put how want if you will dance. What's our idea?
It's all blue. Gonna go to the sea to wash it off. Karlobag is not very wheelchair accessible.
No.
However, they do have this assist down to the water and a wooden diving board. The next morning, we were on the road again, heading to our final city and performance in Đakovo, Croatia. Along the way, we hoped to visit the waterfalls, but they were fully booked with hundreds of visitors that day. So instead, we stopped for lunch at Rastoke.
Oh my god, all the, do you see all the waterfalls along that road?
Kind of amazing, huh?
Rastoke, known as the Small Lakes of Paklenica, is a picturesque village famed for its historical watermills and traditional Croatian architecture. So there's waterfalls that run right beside the houses, and clear spring water. It offers visitors a glimpse into 17th century milling culture amidst lush scenic landscapes. Here there's a cute little town. We stopped for lunch. I bought some gifts. You can see there's some gorgeous waterfalls. And there's places where you can stay overnight and the water just runs right underneath you as you're sleeping. Back on the road again, we took the toll highways for the fastest travel, spending another half day journeying to Đakovo. Located in eastern Croatia, Đakovo is nestled between Hungary, Serbia, and Bosnia. In the small town of Đakovo, St. Peter's Cathedral can be seen and heard from miles away. Drivers might find the one-way streets confusing, but the small town is quite walkable for pedestrians. Later that night, our presence in Paklenica aired on Croatian national television. This was an incredibly exciting moment for our team, as it not only highlighted the beginning of our journey, but also celebrated the stunning beauty of Croatia's national parks. Seeing our artistic international collaboration broadcasted to the national audience was a proud moment, underscoring the importance of preserving these UNESCO national treasures. It was a wonderful opportunity to share the breathtaking landscapes and unique experiences Paklenica offers with viewers across the country, inspiring others to explore and appreciate the incredible natural heritage of Croatia. In our salmon costumes, we head backstage to prepare for our final performance. At the Đakovo Museum, visitors can marvel at the detailed model of St. Peter's Cathedral, a centerpiece that highlights the town's architectural heritage. The museum also showcases exquisite weaving and tapestry work, reflecting the region's rich artisanal traditions. Cultural clothing is prominently displayed, offering a glimpse into the traditional attire and daily life of the people in Đakovo. Additionally, the museum's archaeological artifacts, historical documents, and art collections provide a comprehensive view of the area's long and varied history. Regular special exhibitions and community events further enrich the cultural experience, making the Đakovo Museum a vital hub for preserving and celebrating the heritage of this Croatian region. Visitors should also note that guided tours are available, providing in-depth insights and enhancing the overall experience. On the streets of Đakovo, heading to the cathedral, St. Peter's Cathedral. It's just up ahead there. This neo-Gothic structure was built between 1866 and 1882. Looks like there's an old well. There's a pulley and a hole that goes on forever. I had a feeling this place was holy. What some people may not know is that the oldest part of the wall is not accessible to the public. No nuns here, just studs, at the Đakovo Stud Farm. Established in 1506 and famous for its elegant white horses. Well, not this one, but you'll see them later. Unlike many other historical sites, visitors to the Đakovo stud farm can interact closely with the horses, including opportunities to feed, groom, and even ride these majestic animals under expert supervision. And this is one of the oldest in all of Europe, continuously operating since 1506. In addition to Queen Elizabeth II's visit in 1972, the stud farm's horses have been presented as gifts to various European royalty over the centuries, enhancing its prestigious reputation. The farm employs traditional training methods for its Lippizzaner horses, which have been passed down through generations. These techniques ensure the horse's grace and discipline, essential for their classical dressage performances.
You guys just curious about us?
Look at all their ears, like pointed towards us.
It's a bit creepy. The horse is
All the ears are facing this way. It's like cat attention.
The picturesque setting of the Đakovo stud farm has been featured in several films and TV shows, bringing a touch of Hollywood to this historic location. This farm spans approximately 1,900 acres, providing ample space for the breeding, training, and care of its renowned Lippizzaner horses. The next morning, we were back on the road again to drive west back to Zadar to return the rental cars. And before we went to the airport, we wanted to go check out the ancient Venetian city. I highly recommend it. Once part of the Roman Empire, a lot of the historical remains still are there. You can see there's the gate. Never been into any city like this. And even a lot of the roads are from hundreds of years ago. As you walk north along the water, eventually you will arrive at the sea organ. Completed in 2005, the sea organ in Zadar, Croatia transforms the natural movement of the sea into a symphony of harmonious sound. Is this where the sound comes out of?
Sounds like breathing, right? It's really cool. This is down there a little after.
Stretching 70 meters along the coastline, its series of polyethylene tubes and resonating cavities produce ever-changing musical notes as waves and wind push air through them. In the heart of Zadar, Croatia, archaeologists have uncovered a wealth of Roman artifacts, revealing the city's ancient past as a significant Roman settlement. These remnants of Roman architecture offer a fascinating glimpse into the daily life and grandeur of the Roman Empire. And last, it's time to return home. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to join me on my next adventure.